Hey there, Bible buddies. I've got another Bible review for you today, and this is one that you don't see pop up very often at all. This is a Cambridge New English Bible, an NEB, that was produced in 1971. Now, this particular model has a black water buffalo calfskin. We'll go ahead and take a look at it. There is kind of a sizable yap, and you will see also that the grain is very deep and very nice in this particular edition. Now, there is a little perimeter line around the edge there. I'm not sure why Cambridge stopped using this calfskin or this water buffalo skin. I just always thought it was the nicest stuff. The grain is so deep on it. On the spine, you have the New English Bible, and then Cambridge all at the very bottom. There is some slightly raised hubs here, ribs, and there's 5 of them. I'll take a look at the back, the continuation of that perimeter line, and also that amazingly deep grain, which is signature for this leather at the time. We'll look at the top. You do have red and yellow head and tail bands. And there is a fairly nice gilt. It's a little, this one's a little worn, but not too bad. Nice and shiny there. And there is one black ribbon, and it is actually pretty long for a Cambridge. I don't know if maybe it was replaced at some point, because this doesn't seem fitting of Cambridge, but I could always be wrong. And this is, oh goodness, I don't even know. It's a thicker ribbon, but it's just like a fabric, kind of almost feels like something you'd wrap a Christmas present in. It seems kind of like that same, just kind of like chintzy fabric material, synthetic material, and it is kind of on the thin side. So just of note there. So we'll go ahead and get into it. And you can see we'll show off the corner work here. Now it is stamped with water buffalo calfskin there at the bottom. And this to me feels like a synthetic liner, and it is paste down from what I can, no, it's edge lined. It's edge lined, but this does feel like a synthetic material. I can't tell 100%. But just judging by kind of the symmetry of the kind of the grain pattern there, it does look like a synthetic. I'll flip to the back so you can see the corner work. And the flyleaf, the back side of the flyleaf here, this end sheet, it does have a synthetic material also on it. So, and it does look like there's quite a bit of maybe reinforcing tape. It looks like this construction is pretty heavy duty for the time. I don't know if maybe Cambridge was having some issues. You will notice that the sheets here are kind of curled up, these end sheets. I'm not sure what caused this. If I remember correctly, I think I may have tried to clean this with like a wet napkin when I first got it, and that caused it to curl. So if you're going to wipe down your end sheet here, I would not recommend using a wet napkin, or maybe just a very ever so slightly damp napkin, not necessarily wet. But yeah, this thing definitely curl up. I would imagine after a time it'll settle back down. Hopefully. So let's go ahead and get to the front of it, and we'll take a look. You see how wild and crazy that page is. On the first page here that's still attached to the end sheet, you have a B2A1, a B2A1 all the way there at the top. And then you have from Ken Barata right there. And it looks like it's got a seal from somebody else. It looks like it says the Library of J.H.B. Jonathan H. Bossy, it looks like, in 2011. So I guess he was given this by Ken there. At one point I thought it would be cool to stamp my Bibles like this. It's kind of cringy because obviously you're not always going to own this Bible, and I guess it's I don't know, what is it? What would be like bragging points? I don't know why people. If you know why people do this to their Bibles, please let me know. To me, it just seems cringy. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. Let's just keep going. So you have another thick page here, one more thick page here, and this is like a cardstock. It is pretty thick. And then you have the New English Bible title page there, and you have some information about the New English Bible. We'll go ahead and show that to you. If you guys want to pause it and read it, you're more than welcome to. And then we have the New English title page, the second one, and we do see Cambridge University Press in New York in 1971 here at the bottom. And then I did like the design here for the logo for the NEB Bible. It was pretty nice. Now, this was replaced with the REB eventually, the Revised English Bible, but this would have been the original here. And here's some more information there on the copyright. And then we have the preface to the New English Bible. A couple pages there. We have your table of contents. Continued with the table of contents and the Old Testament title page, the introduction to the Old Testament. I will say this paper is kind of hard to turn. It might just be because of the overcast stitching here. I'll show it to you in a second. You have a guide to the notes, the abbreviations, etc. And then a note on the marginal numbers. You will see this is a pretty interesting, like almost like a reader's format. For a while there, Cambridge was going hard, or the translations, I guess, were going hard with this reader's format, but I really enjoy it, so I'm not going to complain. So here you have Genesis, the first page of Genesis there, and you do see it says the creation of the world, and it is just an exquisite single column reader. I mean, my heart. I mean, this screams, this screams Rusty Bibles. So let me turn a few pages in and see if I can show you that overcast stitching. I think it's right here. All right, there we go. It looks like. So there is, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it, but there is an additional line of overcast stitching here, and that's to increase the durability of this Bible, because typically what happens is the first signature tends to kind of tear away from the Bible. So this overcast stitching helps to prevent that, although I have found that like the first signature will still separate, but that's just supposed to help it a little bit. But I would imagine they added that specifically to this Bible because this Bible is kind of a chunky one. So we'll take a look, and obviously the fact that it's a single column, and I mean it's definitely a reader's layout, that helps kind of add to the thickness of the Bible here. So we'll go through a little bit of it, and you can see that there is. We'll stop here and we'll take a look. So you have your book and your chapters that correspond to each page. You do have a running header up at the top and up at the top only. They don't add anything to the biblical text. So it's only at the top there as far as what's going on. You do have these nice kind of like larger bold numbers that indicate the beginning of a new chapter. And then you have your verse numbers kind of pulled off here on the side. And typically the way that works is it's kind of a guessing game. So usually, if there's like a period, you can assume that this would be the beginning of verse 2, right? I will send. So yeah. And I'm sure the explanation at the beginning of the Bible will do a better job of explaining this than me. So I would refer to that if you have any questions. But also you can see there are page numbers at the very bottom in the center, and then you do have some footnotes there, which is nice. So definitely this is a reader's edition if there ever was one. I'm a huge fan of reader's editions. I do love single column text. I just think it's so nice. Don't get me wrong, I like double column too, but single column will just always hold a place in my heart. So we'll go ahead and flip through it, and we'll stop. Let's try. Yeah, this is big enough. We'll take a look here at Psalms, and you can see this beautiful, absolutely beautifully well done poetry section here. And I got some sirens going on in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear that, so I'm not going to talk so much while they're going off. But very well done poetry. And let me go ahead and get you in real tight on the paper. Now this paper is really nice. You can see there that there's just a little hint of some show through, but it's definitely not bad by any means. I mean, this is some top grade paper for sure. Now the paper is I don't want to say it's thin. It's not thin. It feels like a pretty good GSM. I can't guess. I'm terrible at guessing GSMs. I would say maybe. I mean, it feels like a thicker GSM, maybe like 36. Don't quote me on that. But it does feel like a nice thicker paper, and the texture of the paper feels really nice. It doesn't feel like a cheap paper. There is a little bit of a texture to it, but almost feels like a cotton rag paper, if you guys have ever felt that. It feels nice. It's a nice quality paper. So let's keep going through it. Man, it just looks so good. So good. Oh, excuse me. It looks like there was can I get to it? Yeah, it does look like there's some headers here. So I'm not sure. I guess they don't do it so often because, they're not, I haven't seen very many of them. But for some reason, Assyria and Judah was kind of brought out there. So it doesn't look like it's very often, maybe just the beginning of the chapter. And then you do have the running headers to help you along with the rest of the way to find your place. Man, this is such a nice edition. Heavy sigh. All right, let's get to the beginning of the New Testament here. I can't daydream all day, right? Why have they stopped making Bibles like this? They were so nice. All right, so I'll get a little bit of okay, so we have Malachi, the end of Malachi. There's an appendix here that gives just some general information here about measurements and coins and what have you. Then you have the New Testament title page, and you have the table of contents for the New Testament. And then you have the introduction to the New Testament. Quite a bit of stuff here. And there's another page of the introduction. And you also have another note on the marginal numbers yet again. And then you have the Gospel, and the Gospel according to Matthew. Wonderful. Look at that drop cap even. Woo! A triple line drop cap. Beautiful. Now let's go to my favorite section, 5 and 6, and you can see here that it is a black letter text. So no sort of red to contend with or anything like that. I'll flip to the back and see if there's anything. I don't believe there is. I did notice a lot on these reader editions. They tend to just like drop off. They tend not to have any sort of extras at the back. I'm not sure why they did that. I guess they figure you're picking it up to read and not study, so they could go kind of light on the extra additional features. Excuse me. So we have the end of Revelation here. You can see that there is a little stamp down there, I'm guessing for the production of the book block. It says 175.5W, so I'm not sure what that means. If you know, please chime in below. I would love to hear your input. And also, if I ever get anything wrong in these videos, guys, please feel free to chime in. I am very humble, and I very much understand that I know very little when it comes to vintage Bibles. I am literally just a guy who started buying vintage Bibles on eBay. That's it. I don't have a formal education. I guess I do have a smidgen. I have like 20 years of print experience, but that's like modern print. So I know like printing presses from nowadays, and I know like today's computer technology. But as far as like vintage Bibles go, I know very little. So certainly, if I misspeak, I beg your pardon, and I humbly ask that you leave a comment down below, not to help the algorithm. Yes, to kind of help the algorithm a little, but also to inform me and let me know so that hopefully I will not pass on any more incorrect information. So please, by all means, comment down below. And then we do have the stamp there, and that's kind of how I guessed some of the information. I mean, it's a 3/1565 and then NEB 9. So I don't know. It's stamped in the front with 1971, so I don't think that would be like a date code or anything. So I'm just not sure. There we go. That's the end of the Bible. So let's get some measurements for you. We'll start with the height. It is 8.5 inches tall, right on the money. And it is 5 3/4 of an inch wide. And then thick, it's a chunky guy. It's a chunky one. It's a little more than 1.5 inches thick. So definitely, yeah, a chunky Bible. Let's take a look at the text. I'm glad I left it on the side of the table here so I don't forget. I always tend to run off and then I have to like refilm. And I'm like, I forgot to measure the text or measure the Bible. All right, let's look at the uppercase. I'm talking to myself now. I know you guys are here, right here in YouTube land, but you're not here with me, so I'm talking to myself. If you think about it, I'm talking to myself this whole video. That's the creepy part. I wish I had an audience, although I'm sure nobody would want to hear this but you guys. Thank you, though. Thank you for listening to me. All right, let's look at the H here in Hananiah. And it appears to be a 9-point H. Yeah, about a 9-point H in comparison to the Times New Roman. And we'll look at the M here and from. Go to 9-point. Sorry about the sirens. I apologize. And it looks to be about a 9-point also. So in comparison to Times New Roman, this is a 9-point Bible, which is a good size for readers. I mean, a 10-point would be better, but then this Bible would be super chunk. Not that it's not chunky already, you know. So definitely, this is a recommend for me if you guys can find this. Now, I will say, I guess, I got to try and remember from here on forward to kind of let you guys know how easy these are to find on eBay. I mean, I feel like I've been looking now for 2 years through vintage Bibles, so I kind of know how much these things come up and what the price is and how the frequency of them. I will say that the NEB Bible, I think that people understand that this is a fairly rare translation. You don't see these very often at all. So when you do see them, they are commanding pretty hefty prices. I want to say like in the $80 range for like decent ones, and especially if it has like the Apocrypha and it's in a nice condition, they can get pretty pricey. I mean, as much as like a premium Bible from now. So certainly, if you're looking for the NEB, keep your eyes open. They do not come up very regularly on eBay. I would say, I don't know, maybe once a month I see an NEB. They're really not very frequent. But you know, you could always try searching just like NEB Bible. Maybe you get lucky, it'll pop up. Put some quotes around NEB so you don't get like weird stuff. Do like quotation, NEB, quotation, and then Bible by itself. I'm going to have to make a video one day about how to properly search eBay. I will do that for you guys because my days of vintage Bible collecting are wrapping up. I have everything I'd want and then some, so it's actually going to start reversing one of these days, and I will start selling off some of the collection because it has taken over my man cave, and I only need a couple Bibles. I can only read one at a time. I do love alternate translations, so maybe one of like a few major translations, something like that. I don't know. I will let you guys know. Either way, Bible buddies, please like, comment, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff if you can for me. If you have any questions, leave them down below, and I will get to you as soon as I can. Otherwise, Bible buddies, thank you for watching. Until next time, bye.